Hey everybody, welcome back to another zombie video. Today I wanted to continue our conversation from the last video. In the comments of all three of our discussion videos, I found this common theme for hate of Jason Blundell and what he did to the zombie storyline. You can check out the previous three videos in the cards or description to understand what's going on in this conversation. What I wanted to talk about in today's opinion piece is Jason Blundell didn't ruin zombies. I have found so much hate for what he did in zombies, and I think it is completely misplaced or ignorant. Jason Blundell is not seeking out to write a bad story or hurt zombies in any way. From what he has said in his many interviews or in person is he's trying to give fans what they want plus what they don't know they want. Jason and the Zombies team is constantly innovating. My binder video was excellent at painting a broad picture to the end of the character arcs of our original crew, but nothing in there was quite innovative like the hat bonuses, the lockdown modes, cutscenes, mid-game, and many more features included in Black Ops 3. I also want to mention all the barriers that Jason and his Zombies team face. While trying to write a narrative, it is easy if you are the only person in charge. That's not realistic in the entertainment industry. The story will go through countless revisions and compromises between internal and external forces. Jason is just one person on the team. He's the biggest influence, but we have other public figures like Craig Houston and Peter Livingstone also making the story. There are hundreds more working on the game with varying degrees of knowledge about what is going on. The largest problem I can tell is a turnaround time and communication. During Black Ops 3's zombie development, Jimmy Z left the company, which threw away months of work for Black Ops 3 Zombies. For a first-person shooter to be fun and tell an incredible narrative, you need time and resources. One of the greatest creative heads in the gaming industry today, Kevin Levine, would take 5 to 6 years of development to make his critically acclaimed BioShock and BioShock Infinite. Irrational Games' entire company was dedicated to making this game as great as it could be. While Treyarch is developing the story, the other two pillars in Call of Duty are taking away resources from the Zombies team. Now that the general logistics overview has been discussed, let's talk about what Jason did with his writing and direction. I want to go back to 2011, when a map called Moon just released. Originally, this was supposed to be Paris, but when Modern Warfare 3 released their trailer, including the Eiffel Tower, Jimmy and the Zombies team took it to another direction. The Moon. The end of the Easter egg blows up the planet Earth. What do you do as the head of Zombies after the moon is blown up? I honestly would love to know your fan versions in the comments below. But honestly, by blowing up the moon, the entire narrative was screwed. We were forced to leave everything behind to start exploring other planets or go back in time to undo the actions we did. By going to new planets or worlds, it destroys the whole origins of the story. This was Nazi research gone wrong. By destroying Earth, we throw away all that narrative of the Nazis, Maxis, Richtofen, and Sam interacting at all. If we go back and undo our actions, it admits what was written was wrong. Those actions we took in the past maps are now meaningless. Moon threw zombies into a hole you can't climb out of. Now, you will recall the direction of Black Ops 2 didn't do either of those options. Why? Jimmy Z backtracked his entire narrative because he wrote himself into a hole. Only part of the Earth was destroyed in the accident, even though we see massive chunks of the Earth flying everywhere in the moon. The consequences for our actions is the world is infected by 115, killing almost everyone on Earth. What are we trying to save at this point? Once again, if we save the world, almost everyone is dead because we destroyed most of Earth and Moon. The next issue that is presented in Zombies is we have multiple endings. Jimmy's Zombies created endless permutations that threw all canon into question. Now it is after Die Rise and Buried is being worked on, what do you do as a story head? Jason took every map in Zombies and canonized it with a multiverse explanation. That's a good step in the right direction. Next, we find out the multiverse is limited in scope. It isn't endless numbers of meaningless timelines. It is a shattered mirror of the original timeline, giving us some weight. We then get a narrative setting up the ultimate sacrifice of our new versions of our favorite crew. The zombie team felt limited in the old characters to tell a proper character arc. While I may disagree, they created new interesting characters with some new depth. These characters each confronted their own mortality to save the universe from the madness of 015, the Keepers, and the Apothecons. The gameplay, the story, and the features are all there on paper until Revelation's ending. We were almost out of the mess from Moon, but for some unknown reason, Jason and the studio jumped into a completely different direction than what they had started in Mob of the Dead. In the video, we talked about science versus fantasy. It was meant to say what I preferred more of in my Zombies. A peer of mine, Johnny J25, took it as me saying Black Ops 3 was mainly fantasy and ruined zombies. That isn't the case at all. DE, we have 935 research creating machines and dragons, and ZET, we have Division 9's evil research on man, plant, and animals, and GK, We have alternate world with different technology, similar to what happened in the Fallout franchise narrative. The second biggest misstep of this installment was SOE. Not because the map is bad or Lovecraft lore isn't okay, but because fans were not receptive to this new story addition. Jason tried to answer all the continuity errors in Zombies by creating a Shadow Man, who was quietly pulling the strings until he could be freed. Fans didn't take to the Lovecraftian lore like they did the Vrillia lore Jimmy made. This crushed the planned out narrative. Since Origins, they had a complete direction to the end of Black Ops 3. There's a huge problem if you write a story and everybody hates it in the second half of the first act. In their position, they began to alter their original plan, which I believe gives us this unsatisfying ending in Revelation. At the end of the day, Zombies was not ruined by anyone. It's just a game and different directors had different visions. Each of those visions got distorted due to politics and the limitations of their resources. Jason was able to salvage a doomed narrative and get us all on board again until two major missteps caused everyone to become upset. I can't imagine how ridiculous Zombies could have become if other people oversaw the story or Jimmy even continued. I honestly believe Revelations wasn't supposed to be the last DLC in the sense that their narrative ran out of room during this season. Monty and the children being introduced in GK, something was clearly up behind the scenes. Jason is an excellent writer put into a difficult narrative with millions of vocal fans. His campaign was brilliant, but that is what his problem tends to be. He writes for people to figure out what is actually going on past the words being said on screen. Many people hate his work because you have to look so deeply. His narratives are presenting stories that address current issues in culture that I find fascinating. I hope you did enjoy this video. I would love to know your thoughts, and if you had an idea of how to fix Moon's ending, let me know. Thank you so much for watching this. Subscribe for all kinds of more content, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. I will see you in the next video.